Hello, good evening and welcome to the Hot Seat. This evening we have as our guest President's Counsel and Legal Advisor to His Excellency Maithripala Sirisena, the President of Sri Lanka, and here we have Mr. Faisal Mustafa. Good evening, Mr. Mustafa, and thank you for being on the show.
Good evening, Faraz.
Let's get straight to the heart of the matter, shall we, Mr. Mustafa? Tell us, why are you not part of this alliance?
Faraz, as you know, I left the government of President Mahinda Rajapaksa and supported the candidature of President Maithripala Sirisena. He was elected the President, and I believe that I should continue to support him, and he has a vision and a mission, and I believe that I should continue to be with him and not opt out and support him through an alliance. And I believe that we should strengthen him so that he could carry out his policies through the UPFA.
And so, what's so dangerous about Mahinda Rajapaksa then?
For us, there is no danger in Mahinda Rajapaksa. It's not the individual, it's the policies. During this tenure of President, there were issues with regard to minorities. We were sliding away from being a secular nation. There were certain incidents which I also faced, and I took a stand with regard to that, and I supported President Maithripala Sirisena as I believe that Sri Lanka should be a secular nation. And he stood for those ideas, and today we have him as President. So there is nothing called, there is a danger of President Mahinda Rajapaksa, but now we have the policies of President Maithripala Sirisena running the Sri Lanka Freedom Party and the UPFA, and President Mahinda Rajapaksa is a part of it.
We'll take a break and come right back. Welcome right back to the Hot Seat with Mr. Faisal Mustafa. So, Mr. Mustafa, are you saying then that if one is Muslim or one is from the Tamil community, that one simply cannot vote for Mahinda Rajapaksa? Is that what one is saying?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying at that point of time, when you look at the results of the last presidential elections, majority of the Muslims and Tamils voted for President Maithripala Sirisena. And today he is leading the UPFA. And therefore, I believe that the minorities would support President Maithripala Sirisena.
And should we take much note of the fact that in this manifesto of Mr. Sirisena, aided and abetted by and supported by Mr. Wickremesinghe, there was no real mention of the minorities and how they intended to satiate the demands or the concerns of the minority communities.
No, I think if you look at the country from a Sri Lankan perspective, you don't have to look at minorities in isolation. Because unfortunately, during the past, minorities in certain instances got stepmotherly treatment. So if you look at a secular Sri Lanka, you don't have to look at minorities, you don't have to compartmentalize the issues of the minorities. All need to be treated equally.
And nevertheless, the minorities were perhaps so fed up with the previous policies that they decided to vote for Mr. Sirisena in great numbers on the basis, on the hope that they would be looked after.
Yeah, minorities had concerns, minorities had fears. So minorities in large numbers voted for President Maithripala Sirisena.
And who are they likely to vote for in this forthcoming election then?
I mean, all of us supported the candidature of President Maithripala Sirisena.
Right.
It all depends how President Maithripala Sirisena will steer his campaign.
And who exactly will President Sirisena be supporting?
He is the leader of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, he is the leader of the UPFA. He is obliged to support the UPFA and the Sri Lanka Freedom Party.
And who will be the Prime Minister?
I mean, that's a matter which the parliamentary group, in consultation with President Maithripala Sirisena, it's a secondary step.
Do you think people are brushing aside that question because they already know the answer, but they're not releasing it because it may affect their chances of poll?
There's nothing to brush aside. I mean, it's a fact that the parliamentary group and His Excellency the President would decide who commands the confidence of the group would be the Prime Minister.
So is it conceivable that Mahinda Rajapaksa may become the Prime Minister
I
again?
mean, it is an issue which the party will have to look at. I mean, I don't want to foresee anything, but it is a decision for the party.
Right. All right, we'll move away from that sort of dangerous waters then.
For us, it's not dangerous waters in any form.
It isn't?
It isn't.
Why should we believe in Ranil Wickremesinghe?
I mean, I believe in President Maithripala Sirisena, so I think you're asking the wrong person.
Good, that's a good answer, actually. Tell me, Mr. Mustafa, why have you supported casinos?
I have not supported casinos.
The internet's full of it.
I was
that you're Sri Lanka's main proponent of casinos.
For us, I was the Deputy Minister of Investment Promotion.
Yeah.
There was a mixed development which was placed before Parliament in terms of Strategic Development Act.
Right.
Unfortunately, that project was by Packer, so I had to defend that project with regard to the concessions which were sought for that project. Since there was a nexus between Packer and the project, there were various quarters who threw mud at me saying that I'm trying to promote casinos. I'm against casinos. And also, if you look at history, casinos were brought to this country under the United National Party regime. There was a tax structure in place, and one side, even now, casinos is illegal, but revenue is brought about by way of taxation.
But not under the Gaming Act.
No, there was an act. There is an act, but the regulations have not come into place. Right. But there was an act in relation to collection of taxes from casinos.
You know, Sri Lanka is heading towards a sort of a tourism-orientated economy, and plenty of encouragement given to have hotels and so on and so forth. And yet, casinos have met with a brick wall. Why?
There are a lot of. If you take Sri Lankan culture and Sri Lankan society, there are a lot of ills which come with casinos, and I don't think, with a long history and a long culture which we have, casinos are the best for Sri Lanka.
But we have alcohol and so on. Yeah.
I mean, you want to add to it?
Is that what it is?
No, you look at it from, I mean, with casinos, a lot of other ills come into being. You take countries have got destroyed by casinos.
Countries have been made. Singapore.
I mean, when you look at it, from one point of view, you can say a country is, from an economic point of view, you can say countries have been made, but from a social point of view, a country can be destroyed.
Do you see a possibility for casinos in this?
I hope not.
Sri Lanka?
I hope not.
Will you be will you be a member of the party that seeks to promote them?
No, I hope, I mean, as a nation, we should oppose casinos.
Right. And you think nothing of this $450 million lost investment from Mr. Packer?
I mean, there are other ways of getting investment. But it's unfortunate that I was identified being a proponent of casinos, which is not the fact. I was the Deputy Minister of Investment Promotion, and I had to play a key role.
Minister?
Minister Lakshman Yapa at that time.
Right. We'll talk to you about your growing role within the Muslim community. Do you see yourself as a sort of a gentle replacement, gradual replacement to Mr. Fauzi, who seems to have been the self-appointed leader of the Muslim community?
Unfortunately, our community has more chiefs than Indians, so I don't want to talk about leadership.
Right.
But Mr. Fauzi is a senior leader of our community, and I'll always work with him for the betterment of our community. And
do you think you would be his chosen successor? Is it up to him to do that?
I mean, succession is decided by the masses. Unfortunately, unlike a profession, when it's politics, it's the people that decide.
And these people, what sort of support you have from the people who backed you?
I have always been a very secular politician, and I also always believed in a Sri Lankan identity. I could have gone to ethnic-based political party, but that's not my belief and my vision for the country. I've always propagated a Sri Lankan identity, That's why when I contested in the candidate district last time, I got about 60 to 65% votes from the majority community.
And this time round, you'll be on the national list.
I'll be on the national list, yeah.
What does that? How do you feel about that? Would you have felt more comfortable competing?
It's a party that decides. Party would have decided that I could play a greater role by going all over the country and trying to woo votes.
And how much of your professional background comes into play when you are interacting in party matters?
I think during the 19th Amendment, I played a key role for His Excellency the President and for the UPFA. Even with regard to the 20th, it was very unfortunate that the 20th Parliament did not pass the 20th, where the country would have benefited a lot. I played a key role within the UPFA.
And you believe that we should have gone ahead with the 20th?
I mean, it's unfortunate the United National Party and certain others did not support it, because our electoral system has to change. You would see the chaos during this election. You would see a lot of infighting within parties for the preferential vote. And you would see the amount of monies which individuals would put in to win an election. So politics has become money-based to a great extent. To be a candidate and to cover a district, you need a large sum of money. So money playing a key factor in electing a representative is a very sad phenomena.
We'll take a break and come right back. Welcome back to the hot seat with Faiza Mustafa. Mr. Mustafa, do you think that this Parliament will be one of the most contentious elections ever?
It would be, because you have the leader, the presidential candidate, who was the opposition candidate, now the leader of the UPFA, and you have a part of the members of Parliament who supported His Excellency forming alliance with the United National Party.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a tight fight, and also the United National Party on the front is for good governance. President Maithripala Sirisena, who is leading the UPFA, is also for good governance. So and the JVP, who has played a very vital role in bringing President Maithripala Sirisena towards his victory, is also for good governance. So there is a cry among civil society and the public at large for good governance. I think this election is more than the party. Individuals with a good track record would succeed. I think the era where money plays a key role will be secondary at this election, because people are fed up of having thugs, ethanol dealers in Parliament. They want their representatives to have a clean sheet.
I've been trying to find the answer to this question over the last several weeks, and seeing that you mention it, I'm going to ask you as well. Everyone says ethanol dealers, drug dealers and so on. I haven't got the foggiest idea who these people are. Can you tell me?
No, issue is this. There is a general perception that the culture of our politicians now, right, should change.
Right.
And the persons who should represent him should come from a different background. I think when they mention ethanol dealers, drug dealers, more than identifying them with a particular act, the people feel that the culture should change. That there should be people who are educated, people who are more sober, people who are more people-friendly, people who don't put their business interests and their personal interests before the country, should get into Parliament. So I think people feel that the representatives now during the previous Parliament is not the best. So people are looking for a change. But then when there are allegations of ethanol coming into light, they connect it to politicians. So people are looking for a change where there won't be even an allegation. Most of the issues today are allegations. But people are looking at a political culture that there would be persons who even there won't be an allegation in Parliament.
How likely is that to be achieved?
It's up to civil society and the general public. I would like to use this as an opportunity to give a small message that the public should be very cautious when they vote. They should vote for the right representative, because if you use your vote wrongly, and elect persons who are unsuitable to be in parliament, the country and you are paying a price for it.
Daminda Sanayaka, yourself, and Professor Rajiv Vijay Singh have not deserted Mr. Sirasa.
I would say, politics, you take a decision which you feel is best for the country and for yourself. So I don't blame the ones who've joined the front, because it's a political decision. But I think Daminda Dissanayaka and myself, we decided we are from the Sri Lanka Freedom Party. We love our party. Individuals can come and go, but this is a party we've been here for long, and whatever changes we should try to do within and with the leadership of His Excellency the President Maithripala Sirisena. We are confident that whatever issues and whatever changes that have to be made would be done to make Sri Lankan Freedom Party a more progressive party.
And what is the role of former President Chandrika Kumaratunga in all this?
Out of all presidents we've had, I think she's the most secular president we've ever had.
Right.
So her influence in the Sri Lankan Freedom Party, because there have been allegations that we are not a secular party, and she's a very secular human being, and her influence, I'm sure, would be useful for the public impression that we are a very secular party. So she propagates secularism, and she could be a great influence with regard to that.
And how do you cope, Mr. Mustafa? You've got a very rather famous father, also in the legal field.
Yes, I do.
How do you come? Do you come a close second?
I don't think I'm a comparison.
Okay. What does that mean? Does that mean?
No, I mean my father he's done well in the legal profession. But he's been my role model in the legal profession as well.
Right.
So he's been a great inspiration for me even in my legal practice. So if I could achieve something close to what he has achieved, I think I would have done great in my legal practice.
And what does he have to say about you indulging in politics?
He always tells me, don't juggle in two professions or two vocations. He's always advised me, because I work very late hours due to politics as well. But I'm a people's person, so I enjoy doing politics as well, but I've never given up my legal profession, because I like the adrenaline rush in doing politics, in doing my legal profession.
Who's made more money from the legal profession?
I'm sure it's my dad.
Does he send you a check every now and then?
I wish.
So, the people of Sri Lanka, a cry for good governance is what made the former president go home. In your most candid opinion, can you share with us what you think? Why did Mahinda Rajapaksa lose?
I think that primarily we drifted from being a secular nation, and with regard to governance, there were various issues with regard to governance. And I think President Maithripala Sirisena gave a pledge that he'll put things right. And now that President Mahinda Rajapaksa is also a candidate, and we're all one party. Sure, every politician makes mistakes, and I'm sure President Mahinda Rajapaksa also, at certain meetings, he's openly said, during my past tenure, I made certain mistakes, and I want to put things right. So I think we should give everybody a chance.
Politically, who do you think your role model is?
Nelson Mandela.
Okay.
Unfortunately...
Hold on, let's ask you again, okay? So, politically, who would be your role model? Or who is?
Nelson Mandela. I think Sri Lanka lacks statesmen. A politician should be a statesman. A politician should make sacrifice for the country And I think if we all follow Nelson Mandela, we could achieve a lot. And also, a politician has to be very compassionate.
Well, listening to these politicians from all sorts of sides, where they say it's ethanol people, drug dealers and murderers and rapists and so on and so forth, is it a surprise that we have no statesmen?
I mean, our culture, political culture has to change. But don't forget, we are a country which had a war for 30 years. We have been progressive from what we are. But there is nothing to say that we cannot progress further. And I'm sure the younger generation of politicians are more committed. You need more professionals getting into politics. Because in my opinion, I'm not trying to be snooty for us. The way an educated politician looks at things and a politician who is not educated, there is a vast difference. Unfortunately, the ones who are educated do not want to come into politics because they say politics is a dirty game. But if you don't have the educated of this country coming into politics, the country would pay a great price. So I think we need to encourage the younger generation and also the educated of our country to come into politics. But to woo them for us is a very, very difficult thing. Because my father always asked me the question, why do you want to indulge in this dirty game? I once told him that if we keep out, right, we can never make Sri Lanka a better place.
So it's a commitment to the people, really.
I mean, it's a commitment which all politicians have to make to the people. I mean, being a politician is not for pomp and not for the pomp and pageant, but it's for the commitment to serve the country.
Back again to your legal profession here. Have you reached the pinnacle of your career?
That again is for the people to judge.
How did you get appointed to the Supreme Court?
No, I was not appointed to the Supreme Court. I was appointed to President's Council.
Yes, but the next step would be?
That again, it's for the President to elect or appoint somebody who is of the view that is qualified to be in the Supreme Court.
Where do you think you'll enjoy it better?
I love my profession. I love going to court and arguing a case. I don't think I'm fit to be a judge of the Supreme Court because I don't think I have the temperament for that.
And there is a very special temperament.
There is a temperament. You need to hear than talk and talk less.
Right. Okay. Can you tell us what do you think your prediction of the outcome?
I mean, I'm very hopeful.
Yes.
That the UPF would get the most number of seats in Parliament.
Right. And that would present a problem, though.
It wouldn't, because we would have His Excellency the President is the leader of the UPFA. And he has also pledged that he'll go in for national government. So with a national government, we could steer the country forward. We should move away from confrontational politics.
Right.
And a national government has to be done with utmost sincerity. Because I was compelled to leave my portfolio within 7 days.
Yes,
so
it must have been the world's shortest ministerial portfolio.
It was. I was appointed the State Minister of Aviation, and a few days after that there was a cabinet minister above me. So I was hoping to work according to the way I thought I should run that ministry. So when somebody else was put above me, that ministry would have to be run according to that person's vision and mission. So thereby I tendered my resignation. You
didn't want to stay there and fight it out?
I mean, why do you need to fight? I mean, if there's a cabinet minister appointed above you, you should allow him to function and work according to his mission and vision. I thought I should give the opportunity for the cabinet minister to move forward and step back. But I continued to support His Excellency President Maithripala Sirisena.
Was the President upset when you did that?
I don't think so. I just told him that I prefer to do my legal practice and support him, and I continued to support him. And if he was upset, he would have not appointed me as his legal advisor.
That's true. What sort of a man is he?
He's a patient listener, and I think he has a vision and a mission. And for him to take up the challenge with all the state machinery to be the presidential candidate, he's the most courageous leader I think Sri Lanka has ever produced.
And finally, Mr. Mustafa, because it's election time and so on, can you give a message to the people?
Yeah, the message I would like to give the people is, as much as you vote for the party, vote for a person who is fit to go to Parliament. Don't sell your vote for some sports goods or for something which some candidate would come and offer you, think of the country and vote for a person who you think has a vision to take Sri Lanka to greater heights.
Thank you very much. And on that note, I'd like to say thank you very much for coming on the hot seat, and hopefully you can come back again, and maybe after the elections, and give us your take then. Thank you very much.
Thanks for us.
Thank you.